Now, last week, I showed you this video from Jack Schlossberg, who is the grandson of JFK, JFK Jr.'s nephew, and I thought it was brilliant. And in case you did not see it, here's just a taste of what he did. He mocked Melania Trump in her AI written letter.
Dear President Putin, every child shares the same quiet dreams in their heart. Whether born randomly into nation's rustic countryside or magnificent city center.
Anyways, I thought it was very funny and brilliant because it's a way to get the message out and to people who might not otherwise hear it. And so I reached out to Jack. We follow each other on Instagram. I said, Jack, if you'd like, I'd love for you to come on the channel. And he graciously said yes. And he's actually starting a new program right here on YouTube that I'm going to link to. That's why he's in his van. He's traveling the country to talk to voters and hear their concerns. Brilliant idea. Here he is, Jack Schlossberg. First, just wanted insight as to how, did you just have a wig laying around?
Yeah, I literally just had a wig.
You just have a wig?
I ordered I was going to do a kind of, I've been trying to make this YouTube show happen for since the campaign. I knew at the end of the campaign, I was like, that's what I want to do. I got to keep it going. But I was like, should I do a podcast? Should I do a documentary thing? What should it be? And so there was one point where I was like, I should get a bunch of costumes because then I can dress up and do impressions. And so I ordered 3 wigs and a colonial tricorner hat. And then I didn't use them. And then I was like, oh shit, I have that wig. So it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I did my own reaction to it. I don't think anyone did a better reaction to Melania's video or the letter
Thank you very much. Thank you. I was so shocked that people, you never know what's going to people are just going to get picked up. I was like, oh, really? The wig thing? No way. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I guess, is that because I think you used to be, you had let's talk about the brand of Jack Schlossberg, and your name is incredibly easy to read and hard to say.
Yes.
And you used to be this buttoned up, the grandson of JFK, very well spoken, clean shaven, and then just something flipped during the 2024 campaign. Now, was it like a Britney Spears, I'm free thing? Or was it just you felt like the moment required a different approach? What is there any insight you can give us?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a very simple answer and also a complicated one. The short answer is I've always been like this, and and I exist I have a unique dual role where there's certain times, there's representing my family and all that goes into that, and being serious and somber, and that's a part of me too. But then there's also a lot of other parts of me, and I've always been a total. I love to laugh and I love to perform. That's what I really like to do, and I did it in college and law school. Grad school was weirdly a show because you're all kind of being interrogated in front of each other, and it was that's the part I liked about it. But the longer answer is kind of more it was very deliberate. It was I saw the 2024 election coming a year out. I loved Joe Biden, and I had Ron Klain as my law professor my first year. And that was right after it was in between, it was Trump administration in 2017. And he changed my whole brain. And he, so much respect for him.
And for folks who don't know, Ron Klain was
Biden's former chief of staff.
Chief of staff, yes.
And he's, he was so great to me, and also just such an amazing professor. He totally changed the way my mind worked. Anyway, then he went on to be the president's chief of staff. And in the first years of the Biden administration, it was a really different story than we tell now. It was the most successful legislative administration ever, biggest investment in clean energy, most judges appointed, ended our longest war, brought us back from ended COVID, but I was also existing in the world as a young person on my phone. And I was there's just nothing, I'm not hearing this anywhere. All I got is Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. And it's like I saw it, like everyone did. Saw it slowly happening. And then RFK Jr. started running for president. And the way that he used my grandfather's campaign song, his memory, his assassination, all of that, it really bothered me because I saw a mile away that he and Trump were working together to try to split up Democratic votes and hurt President Biden. And President Biden then had two opponents instead of one. And people started asking me what I thought. And for a while, I was very like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to just be Kennedy stuff all the time. I don't want to, or like, if I'm gonna say something, then it's got to be like super like, and I have to be like, do all my research and be all uptight. And so I tried to work for the Biden campaign, tried to make videos. And I was like, I really want to make videos. I really got to say something about this because RFK Jr. is lying to people and Trump is lying to people. And people my age don't have enough context to hear the other side. Anyway, that was like brewing for a long time. And actually I got chewed out by somebody who was working with the Biden campaign. And I don't want to like blow them up, but I got chewed out by them, and they made me so fucking mad. And all I wanted to do was like, no, we've got to make some social media videos here, guys. Like, I want to do it. Can I do it? Can I do it? And like, no, they didn't really get they didn't have as much appetite for risk. So I was like, you know what? I can't work here anymore. I have to say something about RFK Jr. I have to do it my own way. Everyone said that's a bad idea. You don't want to be the tip of the spear. I was like, I can't live with myself if I don't do this. And so I realized that would get a lot of attention. I anticipated that if I said something about him, it would make news. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to say something about him, then I'm like, while people are watching, I'm going to like do a bunch of other stuff too, to show that a Democrat can be somebody who believes in what I believe, but also like laughs and has fun. And like, that's what I see other people doing. It's like, or also like sports, or also like says funny stuff. And
that's so important because I think, I'm friends with a lot of the influencers the Democratic influencers. And that's what I think is different about you is like, you're a full person online. And I think that's something the right doesn't do as much as they don't have influencers who are just politics. Like they have lives. They talk about
exactly.
What is it? MMA? Is that what it's called?
Exactly.
MFA? I don't forget what it's called. I'm not a sports person.
I know, but sports conversations freak me out. I can't do it. Exactly.
Yeah, or like, they have trad, but like it's exactly. They have a culture, whereas ours is just like very intellectualized.
Yes.
And so I think that's something I hope more people do is that it's like it's less about the policy because like the policies will take care of themselves. But we have to create a culture that's fun, and I think that's something I want to talk to you about is I feel like it's the culture of being a Democrat right now, not very fun.
Yeah. Sad face, upset, things aren't funny,
No,
which is true. And I feel that way sometimes as well. Or a lot of the time I'm like, this really isn't funny. Like, this is not like, I'm not cool with this.
It's not funny, but it's absurd. It's absurd. And I think like the absurdity can be laughed at, And that's what we try to do on this channel is like, we're not you do such a great job.
You do such a great job, I feel like. And I think that, like, I try to say, I don't even have a point to make, but my larger point that I tell to people who like aren't chronically online is that, it's a character that you're playing for an algorithm that will determine how many people see your message. So yeah, like if I put the wig on and do the accent, like as you said in your video, which like really was like sick, it was like that someone's going to see this who wasn't going to read her letter and think anything about it, And it's like, if I just read the letter or posted a picture of the letter, it's like, that's not going to work. So it's like, you have to play within the rules. I think you're really right about the right. And that's kind of what I was saying. It's like, there's no reason to be a Democrat other than all the really good reasons that are really important and policy driven. But there's no cultural reason, like there's no group that to hang out with or like product to buy or or event to go to or like fight to stream, you know? It's very heavy stuff. So I think that at the same time, and then I'm going to stop rambling, that, you know, we don't have the luxury that they do of not caring about the facts and not getting the answer right at the end of the day. And so I think that, you know, people do respond to actually things that are super informative as well as money. Like you do a really good job of that too. You must know that like when you provide people some information about what's going on and you like put it to them in a way they can understand, it's like people find value in that. And I think that we have to do both, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I try to not do, and this is so inside baseball. So for the folks who's watching, I hope they're not too bored by it. But I do try to. I think people know when they're being talked down to, you know, and I think part of the thing Democrats have to wrestle with is that there's a lot of good people who voted for Trump, people who are and smart people or people who are just misinformed. You know, and I do think that you can talk to people like they're smart, you know, and I think most people are pretty on top of it. And I think Democrats, that the idea of the Democrat, not saying this is true, but I think it's based in some sort of truth, is that liberals and progressives know better than you. So why don't you just shut up and listen to us? You know, that's got to change. But I think one of the more exciting things about this moment is that the old way of doing things wasn't working. So like you are creating a new way to be a Democrat, you know, there from the destruction can come a new life, you know.
Totally. No, that's like, no, I literally like thinking about that myself. It's like, like it's crazy how bad this has gotten and how bad the Democratic Party reputation and all the kind of what seeped in about like Democrats being lame, like that's really embedded. However, and that's unfortunate, but however, it's like a whole new group of people are now like shaping what the elected officials are like communication style is like from the ground up. That's like actually what's going on. It's like everyone can see what does well on social media, and it's like they're now implementing that. You know, a year ago, how many Democratic senators had an Instagram account? You know, now they all have it. They all have podcasts. Like that's just happened. You know, we were late to the game.
I know it's crazy. They're like, the internet exists. They discovered the internet in December. I
think your point about like, you know, Trump voters aren't all stupid is like so key because, you know, not everybody comes at this with like all the thoughts that you or I do. And they probably have actually thought a lot about it and made a decision and have a lot of good points. And it's not, you know, it's not like Trump is saying how bad he is all the time. He spreads misinformation. So it's like, well, of course it sounds better to a lot of people, you know? So I think that's very important. I think something I try to, like, I'm struggling with is how to not just be in opposition or not just troll them and try to like, you know, not just like cordon off a whole group of people who voted for Trump. Like, I don't want to make fun of them or make them feel dumb or like they're not part of this joke. So I feel like it's hard. It's tricky.
It is hard. I try to just focus on elected officials and not the voters because I do think that's just not my cup of tea. But I do want to focus on this thing about the new Democratic Party because you endorsed Zoran Mondani, right? Yes, and
sure did.
He won the primary, and I was not for him, to be completely honest. I didn't say who I was for, but I'm supporting him now because he won the primary. I'm kind of disgusted that there's a Democrat who ran in the primary and it's like, oh, well, the voters got it wrong. I'm going to run some more. Not cool. But I wanted to just get your opinion on like Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer have not endorsed. I don't understand that. Do you have any insight? It's like, what, like we have this guy who understands social media. Perhaps his policies aren't completely aligned with the more establishment Democrat, but he has tons of support. Shouldn't we just be bringing those people into the tent? I don't understand not endorsing. What's your sense of that?
I think that it's complicated, and I think here's what I think. Am I frustrated by the Democratic Party's reluctance to embrace a new generation and their style? Very frustrated by that. Did it literally take us to get to this point for them to be like, oh, maybe you guys are like, oh, maybe we should post on social media? Oh, you know, I am very, very, very frustrated by that. And that's like a self-inflicted wound from an older generation that is like refusing to give up the reins. And that makes me mad. However, on this particular question, I think that, you know, there's a tricky dynamic. It's like, would it even be good for him if they endorse? Like, I think it's strategic. I think it's pretty smart. You know, if let's say they did endorse Mondani, you know, a candidate in New York, a strong candidate in New York City is really different than a strong candidate in another state, another part of the country. And if Chuck Schumer endorses Mondani, I think Jeffries, who are their like party leadership, then every Republican that runs against Mondani, and every candidate that they're trying to recruit has to set themselves apart from Mondani. And his strength, Zoran's strength, I think, is that he didn't need any of that. You know, like Cuomo racked up all Bill Clinton's endorsement, Michael Bloomberg's endorsement, endorsement, all the establishment kind of figures, and didn't put him over the top. So I feel like, yeah, there is like a divide in the party that must be reconciled, and it really frustrates me. However, I also think in this particular race, with this particular kind of dynamic, that, you know, there's some benefit in having a party that can be multiple things, you know, not be so rigidly tied to, you know, we're this or that. It's like, well, he's this, and a candidate in Minnesota is slightly different, and that's our strength. Does that make sense? I mean, yeah,
That
I
makes
share your
sense.
frustration.
The way it comes across to me is that they hope Cuomo wins, or like they don't want, they don't, that's how it comes across to me, because they did,
Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure if Schumer and Jeffries did, but the establishment was with Cuomo. So that's,
I know, it makes me so mad. I'm sorry,
it makes me
he's
mad
not even
too.
he hasn't lived in New York since the 90s. Also, like, you were the governor for a real, why is it fun at this point for you to trash somebody all the time? Like, it's one thing to run an optimistic campaign because you love the city or something, but this is like, now you're like slinging mud against a Democrat who all young people are excited about, spending all of your time doing that. And like in a why is that?
And the tweets have gotten so like desperate. Like, it's clearly not him tweeting. It's they've hired some guy to do. I mean, it's better than it was, but it's also clearly not him. It's a desperate. It just feels very desperate and sad to me what Cuomo's doing, and I look forward to seeing him lose. And I did not say that before the primary, because I just was like, well, you know, whoever will be the best will be who gets the nomination, and then we'll go from there. But what's happening now is just like, it just feels like Trump again. It's just like, you know, when voters tell you an answer, just listen to them. And then, all right, I didn't do it this time. Next time we'll have at it, you know? But anyway,
I mean, the reason why I came out to support Zoran was not because I agree with him on every policy, but because for like one simple reason, which was the importance and value of someone who's 33 years old, proving that, oh yeah, I also know how to win an election. I could also be trusted to run a successful campaign. Like, you guys are not the only people who one, care about our country, and two, like, have the ability to organize. And so I was so encouraged that, like, yeah, look, he can do it. Like, this, you know, what, like, evidence of our generation's competency. And I think that that's super valuable.
All right, I want to go to the lightning round, because who knows who's gonna see this. But I wanted to give you the opportunity to address people directly.
Yes.
And so take it if you want. We don't have to. But let's start with JD Vance. If you could say anything to JD Vance right now, If he were right in front of you, what would you say?
I would say she will be mine. She will be mine. Oh yes, she will be mine.
My next one was Usha. So I suppose
We got it. Oh yeah, I was like literally. What would I say to Usha? Like I feel like, oh my god, hi. Oh my god, hey. No, I would have to. I would have to say Usha. I joke around a lot, but all of that was super serious. I am in love with you, but no pressure. No pressure.
wow.
Yeah. Actually, that's not that good. I think I would say, "Hey, Usha." I don't know.
I wonder.
I get so nervous.
And maybe I'm just like, maybe I am putting my own beliefs onto someone I don't know. But the way I see pictures of her, I don't think she's okay with this shit. That's how it appears to me.
I feel like everyone can see it for what it is. It's like she's like, the fuck.
It kind of feels that way. But
I honestly feel for her in a weird way.
Why?
Although, well, because like, imagine you're right and she is like, this is so bad. But it's also like, well, like what am I gonna do? Like, break up my whole family and not support this person that I promised I would, fulfill their dream? Like, I don't like. That would suck if your partner like became a nationalist crusader. Like, that would be hard. At the same time, she is an adult. This isn't about her. It's about our country, and she has she's been, not shy, like not careful to not be photographed and not do press events and all of that. So she has to live by it. But it's like, I mean, can you imagine? Because they're both ostensibly like reasonable people who.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jody Vance is. Yeah. It's one of those things where like they have become like they've gotten close to power, and now I think they probably have talked themselves into like the.
I know. Do you think that they believe? I try to think about like, how do they do it? Because nobody is smart enough, like, to actually not believe what they say and do it that well. Like, they all have to really have convinced themselves in order to like pull this off, that what they're saying is actually valid.
I will say it like this, because I am a addict in recovery. Today's actually my 4-year anniversary. Hooray for me!
Congratulations.
Thank you. But the mind can do wonders if you want to believe something that's not true. So as someone who is very experienced in talking myself into things that aren't good for me, I think the mind can do wonders on that sort of stuff. What would you say? Cheryl Hines was quoted saying that she didn't even want to talk about you because you would revel in her mentioning you, which I'm sure you reveled in. What do you want to say to Cheryl Hines? Who, again, is another one I'm just like, you feel like she
was less of me. It's obvious.
Yeah.
She could have said no comment, but she couldn't help to talk about me. And I think that what would I say to Cheryl Hines? I wouldn't talk to her. I would look at her in the eye and hold it as long as I could and not look away. That's what I would do.
That would be very uncomfortable.
Smile. Like that.
Should we try that right now?
Oh. I mean, it's all like. Anyway, yeah, I would just stare at her.
And then my last one is the masked ICE agents who, what do you want to say to them? Masked ICE agents.
I'll say I got my own van, dude, and it's way more fun, and it's the same van, but we're having a good time in here. So if you guys want to come in, talk about what's going on, we'd love to have you.
Great.
But honestly, I probably wouldn't say anything to them, and I would probably
I see them all the time in DC now, and it's very disturbing. Yeah. Well, You are in a van. This is your YouTube
Yes.
channel, and folks can come and watch you talk about politics from your van. Is that the?
Yes. I started my own show with a couple guys about a month and a half ago. It's called Test Drive, and it takes place out of my van. Why is it in the van? Well, because I like to be on the road, and I want to go see what's out there. We were just talking about how liberals are kind of in their own bubble, and maybe sometimes are guilty of talking down to people. Well, I want to get out into the country, see not only what's happening as a result of Trump's cuts and policies, and bring some color to that, but also, find out what's going on out there and educate myself about my country. And so it's got to be on the road, got to be a road show. It's been really fun to figure it all out so far. I've been building on my van, and we've been doing live streams, and we're sort of like, we're building the van as we go, literally and metaphorically. And so at first we did it recorded. Now we're doing lives. But the goal is to have real conversations with real people to get my point across substantively, but also to bring the whimsical entertainment, otherworldly spirit. But that's what we do.
I think it's very smart. I look forward to seeing what it becomes. If you ever, I hate traveling, but if you're ever in DC, if you ever come over
coming
here
there
to DC,
September 9th to 12th.
Okay, I think I'm
like
in here, question mark. Yeah.
So
but if you're ever here, let me know, and I will
get in the van.
Your van. Yeah, I want to get in the van.
Well, here's an idea. I want to hear if you like this idea. I don't want to like be chasing high profile guests. I think it's really great to do that, or like a privilege to have those conversations, but it's like you need a booker and you need but I want to have real conversations with people, but I don't want to hit them over the head with, tell me about how much you hate Trump. So I was thinking that I could park kind of in a college area, a la Charlie Kirk, and invite people to sort of like a therapy to tell me about what's bothering them and to try to have some resolution there. What do you think?
I do think
healing.
Yes, I do think resolution is something that isn't explored enough on social media. It's all conflict.
Yes.
But like things that travel quickly on social media, laughter, conflict, and crying. So it doesn't have to just be conflict.
Right.
So I like that idea because it's unexplored in politics. Is like, what does it look like to make content that is comforting?
Yes.
Or makes you feel something other than just anger. Yeah,
exactly.
Give it a shot.
Thank you. I'm going to try.
Well, thanks for coming on. I would love to have you on again. And truly, if your van is here,
yes, I'll let you know my dates.
All right.
That'll be awesome. Thank you for having me. And thank you for all the great work that you do, and the way that, because you provide an example for other people to help you're figuring things out for all of us. So thank you.
Thanks.